Alright, I wasn't going to do this again because it's just so freaking frustrating to try and deliver the same message again and again to people who are still of the same attitudes that they were when I first started discussing all of this. Not all of you. Some of you have turned the wick up just a little bit higher. But for the most part, people still hold the same attitudes that they have all along. And what are those attitudes? One side of the coin is no different than the other, and that politics are only there to divide us. Mind you, these are some of the same people that post informative articles and videos about the secret space program, about advances in technology that have been kept hidden from us, about life extension technology that has been confirmed but buried underneath all of the propaganda that we all have to wade through on a daily basis. And these very same people have heard the same stories and the same interviews that have quite literally said in a very concise, very easy to understand manner that in order to get full disclosure, the deep state and the elites that run the show have to be exposed. Something, by the way, geniuses, that you have been watching unfold before your very eyes ever since the election in 2016. I wasn't going to make any more on camera videos, but every time the Democrats come out with their little American flag pins and start talking about patriotism and all this other patronizing bullshit they come out with, it pisses me off. So here I am again, pissing in the wind, hoping it doesn't blow back all over my legs. All because so-called smart people keep saying one side of the coin is no different than the other, and politics are only there to divide us, like some kind of freaking robots, when the evidence says differently. That may have been how it was, but it's not how it's been. Or you wouldn't be watching the Democratic Party literally destroy themselves trying to frame Donald Trump and expose their agenda and their allegiances along the way. First, he was a racist, attacking minorities and separating families along the border. Something, by the way, that was started by what some people called the deporter-in-chief during his administration, Barack Hussein Obama. Then when that didn't stick, they tried to turn him into a Russian agent. Something, by the way, that was debunked by their very own hand-picked special counsel and his biased band of merry men straight out of the bowels of the Democratic Party. Then when that didn't work, they had to try to pin something else on him. Because as I have said on several occasions, they're not going to quit. Their crimes are too great. And what wouldn't you do to avoid the punishment for treason, public execution, death by hanging? Oh, you didn't know that the Obama administration was responsible for ISIS and armed and supplied them? You weren't aware that Benghazi happened because that was all about to be exposed? You didn't know that the Obama administration and the State Department sold out the American interest and stake in uranium to the Russians? You weren't aware that Hillary's email and the DNC server connects all of this together? Well, guess what? One side of the coin is no different than the other, people. That's what this shit's all about. That's what it's been all about. Covering their own asses. And if Donald Trump was one of them and on their side, they wouldn't be doing all this shit. They wouldn't be exposing themselves and their alliances along the way. So out of their desperation, we come to this Ukraine delusion that Donald Trump tried to leverage information to enable him to defeat incompetent Joe Biden in the election, which I find to be completely ridiculous. I don't like Hillary Clinton, not in the least, but she's got a hell of a lot more going on than sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe Biden. That's for damn sure. But I'll give this to the Democrats. Their arguments almost sound believable. If you're willing to overlook one thing, Joe Biden's very own words.
I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. I think it was, what, 6 hours? I looked at it, I said, we're here in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Son of a bitch, his very own words. You don't find that to be just a little suspicious? And then throw in the fact that his son was sitting on the board of an energy company with no experience at all, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, amounting to millions. And then he goes into China and walks away with $1 billion deal while he's flying around on Air Force Two with his old man, sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe Biden. I find that extremely suspicious, if not downright incriminating. And I would expect any president worth his salt to be asking questions about a situation like that. As a matter of fact, I would find him remiss in his duties if he wasn't willing to ask those kind of questions and get to the bottom of what looks like an extremely corrupt situation. And here's the punchline of this bad joke, and it's anything but funny. They're all freaking doing it. If you don't have a foundation, no problem. Just send your kid to wherever you want to receive payoffs from and get your kickbacks that way. And if that doesn't work, just go to some major corporation and give a 15-minute speech for hundreds and thousands of dollars and sell out your office and your country that way. Or keep saying politics is only there to divide us and one side of the coin is no different than the other, and never get the disclosure that you seek. But don't waste any more of your subscribers' time on stories and videos about the secret space program, about stories and videos about the advancements in technology that are kept hidden from the general population of the world, or stories and videos about life extension technology, which you'll never know about because you've already made the foregone conclusion. The one side of the coin is no different than the other, and politics are only there to divide us. Especially after you've been told by more than one credible source that all of this has to be exposed to get the disclosure that you're looking for. So, no, I don't think this is funny, and I don't think it's cute, because so called smart people aren't smart enough to overlook or take into account new facts or new situations that blows their narratives right out of the water. So, in closing, I guess I'll say this. This channel has been heavily censored for quite some time, and I have a feeling I know why. Because I've been on the trail, if not right about this all along. And just recently, they've started censoring my comments again. So when and if you leave a comment and I don't get back to you, I'm not blowing you off. I just outright don't see it. Because very seldom do the number of comments match up with the number that it says on the top of the comments section. So whatever you did to make it so they think I shouldn't be able to view your comment, good for you. Keep up the good work. Because apparently you said something to irritate somebody who thinks they can control the narrative. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, even a small thing like that lends towards disclosure. And yeah, I've said this before and it sounds corny as hell. But if we're all willing to pitch a penny in the bucket of freedom, eventually it'll be overflowing with liberty for all. And if we're not, the damn thing is going to go dry and there ain't going to be nothing for nobody except for oppression and tyranny.